morning. Welcome back to those of you who were here yesterday, and welcome to the 92nd Street Y to those of you who are here for the first time. We had an incredible day yesterday. We talked about everything from fertility to global issues to motherhood to finances. It's incredible to think that we have anything left to talk about, but we have yet another full-packed day for you today. I just want to make some very brief housekeeping remarks, and then we will get started with our lineup of talent. Yesterday, we were trending all day with a reach of 38 million people on Twitter. So keep making lots of noise, keep using hashtag #SheSummit, and let's make that even better today. People have been asking about the agenda. It's all on the Bizzabo app, which you can download for free on your smartphone. Super useful. You can check in on LinkedIn. You can see everybody who's here, the whole community, and you can see the whole agenda and where we are at every point during the day. Don't forget to go to the marketplace, which is right off the main lobby. Lots of goodies, lots of snacks and books for sale. So don't forget to stop by there, and also to stop by the Claudia Chan table in the lobby to drop off your business card to win lots of fabulous prizes in our raffle. Lastly, we will again be having cocktails and networking at the end of the day at 4:30, so please make sure to stick around until then. Without further ado, enjoy the day. I'd like to welcome back my partner in crime, Claudia Chan.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So thank you so much again for joining us on day 2 of SHE Summit. And if you are here for the first time, welcome. We had an amazing day yesterday. Asha, I know, just shared some of our successes, and I think it was like 38 million or something trending on SHE Summit, hashtag SHE Summit trending in New York City, 38 million impressions. And we're just super excited to be convening such an incredible group of women. So I wanted to share some of the tidbits of just inspiration that I loved yesterday, especially if you're joining us for the first time. And you know, again, I encourage everyone. Yesterday, I asked everybody to create in your journals or your computers, iPhones, Evernotes, 3 sections, which were: one is what do I want to create in my life to serve me and my passion and purpose? What do I want to create more of in my life? For you to be taking notes in that sort of section throughout the day. The second section was, what do I want to eliminate more of in my life that no longer serves me? And the third was, what are some things and activities that I want to start exploring so that I can serve others, and especially specifically for women and girls. So I hope that you continue to fill up those sections and throughout the day. So here are just a few of my favorite quotes and inspiration nuggets from yesterday. On women in social media, we learned from Crystal Ball that in a world where women's voices are intentionally diminished, we can really use social media to take advantage of having power. On men supporting women, we learned from Nigel Barker that the manly thing to do is to go in and stop violence. It's about loving each other no matter who we are. On women in supportive networks, we learned from Sally Krawcheck that when there are more diverse perspectives around the table, you know, in corporations and in leadership, you don't necessarily make faster decisions, but you make more effective ones. On women in underrepresentation, we learned from Evie Pompouras that women don't think that they should be bold or daring or courageous. We feel that those words are more synonymous with men, but women need to start coloring outside the lines. On women in government, from Samantha Power, that was such an amazing conversation. She said, when women are involved, peace settlements are found to be more effective and lasting. It's in everyone's interest for women to be at the table. On women in motherhood, we learned from Shilpa Shah that I want my kids, when they're older, to look up to their mom and someone who didn't compromise passion. On women in success, we learned from Tiffany Dene Jones that no matter how successful you are, you can always be more successful. So we need to shift from success to significance. On women in identity, we learned from Agapi Stesanopoulos, who closed out the evening last night. She says, we're born an original, but most of us die a copy. So let's live our life and be our unique selves. All right, so those were some of the nuggets that really, really stuck with me. And, I actually, I talked yesterday also about the significance of, being here. And really, I just want to commend all of you for really carving out the time in your month of June, and to really create the space for yourself to develop and get inspired. We all get so busy as women with our work and all of our things on our to-do list, and it's just so critical that we're carving out this time to not only celebrate, how incredible it is to be a woman, and but also to connect with like-minded women, build new relationships, and cultivate in all these different life areas. So, as you immerse yourself in this day 2 of SHE Summit, of learning, developing, connecting about the power and potential you hold as women, I really want to encourage you to take notes and to really, because, obviously, creating SHE Summit has been probably one of the biggest accomplishments and dreams that I've ever had. And it was attending other conferences, reading tons of books of people that I admired. It was advice that I had received, women that I had interviewed, church sermons that I had attended, even yoga classes, anywhere where I've gotten experience. Those have all been my teachers, and I've been really relentless about taking notes in my journey to build SHE Summit and to build this new platform. And I really encourage all of you to take notes and really use them as a tool. Put them in your iPhone, put them in I use Evernote, and I actually categorize things by the topics on my website, from resilience, perseverance, courage, to leadership, culture building, my team. So I literally, if I'm having a hard time, whether it's motivating my team and I'm stuck somewhere, I'll literally go to that section in my notebook, and I'll see, okay, what were some of the things that I learned from Steve Jobs, or reading Richard Branson's book, or Oprah's notes, or that conference that I attended. And so I really encourage you to take notes and utilize them as tools, because in pursuing our journeys and our passions and our big goals, we're gonna need those resources. We're gonna need that support system that you're really building for yourself. So on that note, I wanted to share with you some mantras that I have actually practiced to create SHE Summit, and to really be at this point in my life where I'm truly aligned in terms of what I do with my passion and my purpose. And so I hope that you can benefit from these mantras. And I call them mantras because mantras are technically protection of the mind, and they are things to be practiced over and over again. It's not like, what you hear today is, okay, you hear it, you're done, and you're gonna go out in the world and you're just gonna be this stronger person. You're gonna go through your challenges, and you're gonna need to practice. Good habits take practicing, right? So my first mantra is to dream big with passion and purpose. In any goal that we have as women, I always encourage to really stretch the imagination of what it is that you want to create. Jane Werwin, the founder of Dermalogica, I interviewed her years ago, and she said, dream as if you were dreaming in your sleep. Literally envision, what the person is like. If you're selling a product, she used to say, I can imagine, what she's wearing and what she looks like, when she's purchasing that product. And so it's really important to align that with things that make you happy, and also something that really gives back and is solving a problem of some sort. So really expand, and the bigger the dream, sometimes the smaller the first step as well. And it's like taking baby steps, and thoughts become things, and the more you start, where your energy goes, where action goes, energy flows, and before you know it, this thought is already starting to formulate into something real, and literally it'll be 6 months, 6 years later, and you're gonna be blown away by what you've accomplished. The second mantra is, we cannot become what we do not believe. So I know it sounds simple to believe that you can do something, but it's actually hard, because you actually have to continue to believe. And when you get knocked down and you go through challenges, you have to be relentless in your faith that it is possible. And chances are, if you already want to do it and it's really hit home with you, you already have the skills and the experience and enough passion to make it happen. The third is that we can only be what we can see. So role models, surrounding yourself with the right people and the right role models is so important. Be really picky about your company because we become the company we keep. So even if it's, when I say role models are not necessarily, famous people or really successful authors or, celebrities or leaders that you look up to. I mean, those are of course role models, but they're also, it could be a friend, right? It could be somebody that, we all have our networks of amazing friends that we admire. Like really, if there's something about a friend that you really admire, take that as something that you might want to cultivate, right? We're all learning from our company and the people that we surround ourselves with. So be really, really picky about that. Your energy is really valuable and you want to be very selective because you want to put all your energy towards the things that align with your goals, with your passions, with your purpose, right? Because like you have this big dream that you want to achieve, so you don't have the energy to waste on on people that don't serve you. Next is self-care comes first. So, women, I was talking to Sally Krawcheck yesterday, and she was saying that, women are so comfortable negotiating for others, but not for themselves. And again, our tendency is to take care of everyone before we take care of ourselves. And that's the right thing to do is, if you break down, then, your partner, your children, your job, everything that you're literally like putting like 1,000% of your energy into, that's not going to function that well because eventually the car is going to break down, right? So self-care, being here at S.H.E Summit and making the time for this, like that's self-care. And we need to really prioritize, like literally if it's taking that break in the middle of the day, it's going to your exercise class, going for that run, that is what refuels you and recharges you. I define self-care as physical care, diet, exercise. I also define it as financial care, and we're gonna have a whole topic around women and personal finance later today, because I think managing our money is another huge topic. But the third is actually mental care, like really your psychological, your self-talk and your mind, and making sure that that's really healthy too, and that your mind is feeding you really good stuff, like just the way you feed your body with healthy foods and energy to go out there to conquer your day. You need to feed your mind with really positive stuff. If we focus our thoughts on negative things, you get what you focus on. So really, self-care and all of these, and financially, mentally, psychologically, physically, those are all such important things. If those foundations are strong, your success is your possibilities are limitless. Which takes me to, obstacles and challenges in life. They are the more you pursue your dreams, the more courageous you are. And because it's scary and it's risky to, do something that is not the normal track. Yesterday we had a topic called redefining the career path to success, right? And everybody has their unique path. But I say that, it's like entrepreneurship. If you choose to do something that's risky, get comfortable with the discomfort. And so obstacles are going to hit. The challenges are going to be there. It's last year at S.H.E Summit, I love the quote, for every yes, there are 10 no's. So you are, it's almost as if like, bring it, like if, bring it, like, a courageous leader, is going to have a lot of no's in front of them. So realize my tool with handling them is to realize that they're showing up to tell you something. They're showing up almost as a blessing because obstacles make you stronger in so many ways because eventually you're going to have to ask for help. You're going to have to figure it out and get through it. And it actually strengthens your courage muscles, your resilience muscles, your perseverance muscles. And often they show up to tell you something. Hey, you need to take a right turn. This is not working out. You actually need to go in this direction instead. And I think as women, we're controlling and we want, this is our path, this is what we think it is. But we need to be flexible, and obstacles often show up to tell us that we need to take turns. And so I look back at my entire life, and every great thing that I have achieved truly was ignited because of an obstacle that I went through. So next time it happens, try to soften, and not necessarily react or freak out, and ask yourself, maybe this is happening for a reason. Breathe through it, and you'll be amazed at what it leads you to. So we're responsible for our energy. That's my next sort of mantra and piece of advice, is that positive attitude creates positive results. You know how there's just like those negative people, or, often that don't smile, or we're like, energy is so important, the energy that we put into the universe and the energy that people give to you, and we're really responsible for it. And so, I this is one of the things that I've always struggled with, because I come from this like Chinese family where, it sounds like everybody's yelling and screaming at each other, but really we're just like loving each other, right? But there's just this like chaotic, and just being like cultivating a positive attitude is actually something that I've had to work really hard on. And really, it's again, energy is just so precious, and you want to put out positive. The more positive you put out, the more positive you will get back. Replace frustrations with gratitude and fears with faith. That's another thing that I've learned. At the end of the day, we're living in the first world. We are so blessed with everything that we have. Especially lately in the news, you read about what's happening to women and girls. And, again, Jimmy Carter calls the violence against women and girls as the most serious, pervasive, and ignored basic human right in our world today. And so, having gratitude for counting your blessings is a tool that I've used when I get frustrated at things, and having faith that the universe has my back. I think that we're all here for a reason, and we also have to believe that where we are right now, everything is in perfect order, and that you are exactly where you're supposed to be in your life. Like right now, in this moment, you're meant to be here, and you're meant to be here for a reason. And whether it's to meet somebody, whether it's to hear something, to go out there, and this is really realize that the universe has you exactly where you're supposed to be, and just feel amazing about that. That's the other thing too, right? Feeling amazing and feeling good, like feeling joy. We had a whole talk on fertility yesterday, and just one of the basic things on even how to get pregnant is just literally practice joy. And joy is something that we forget to do as women because we're just so focused and obsessed with getting done what we need to get done. And it's just so important to be doing the things that make us happy, and just feeling as if knowing that we deserve that, right? We deserve to feel happy more often. So that's another one. Every meeting is an opportunity to learn and teach. That just remember, every time you meet somebody, you have a conversation. That's an opportunity for you to ask questions and learn about a whole different field and industry that you might not know about, and share with them what where you come from, and you just never know what can come out of that. Every experience that you have is a learning opportunity. Take advantage of it. Life is incredible, and you are surrounded by incredible people here. So really take advantage of that, which takes me to the next thing, which is advertise your work. And your PowerPoint presentation is not going to get up and walk itself to your boss and speak for itself, right? My conversation with Marlo Thomas yesterday, she talks about asking for help. Why is asking for help so difficult and complicated for us sometimes? I think that, especially today also, you have to email somebody 100 times to get a response, and it's uncomfortable. All of it's uncomfortable. We have to constantly, if you're a business owner, you're constantly marketing who you are and what you're doing, and you constantly need to speak up and ask for help. And I think that, I talked a lot yesterday about people like Sheryl Sandberg, who didn't have to step out and speak out about women. And, all of it takes courage, but it is really what it takes today, and it's what will differentiate you in being a great leader. So be confident in communicating, and also communication creates community. So really get comfortable with all of that. And my last piece of advice is cultivating self-love. Sounds a little cheesy, but I think being kind to ourselves as women and all those mental thoughts, I really believe that women have a tendency to be self-critical and tough on ourselves. There's a pressure to be perfect and to compare ourselves. We feel like we're constantly behind, and somebody else is more ahead of us in the race. And we really need to realize that we're the only ones running in our race. There's nobody else. Everybody's going at a different speed because we all have different paths and journeys, and we all have different purposes in life. And so really realize where you are is where you're supposed to be, and be kind to yourself. We cannot lean in or thrive or do any of these things that of the movements that are happening if we're not kind to ourselves and we give ourselves permission and we love ourselves. It's one thing that I've really I've really been thinking a lot about, especially in the last few months, which has been relentless planning for She Summit, is wait a second, I did enough today. You know, I love what I did today. Today was enough, and I'm really proud of myself. So that is my biggest message to all of you is, you know, surrender to, let go of all of those nasty things that your mind is telling you, and just say, I love myself. It will be transformative, I promise. So on that note, I want to sum up and wish you all an incredible day. We've got jam-packed speakers. I think we've had over 80 in total, so I think you're listening to 40 speakers today. And the first one is actually going to be a talk from Lisa Bloom. She is an NBC News legal analyst and attorney best-selling author. She is actually going to have share a quick talk first, followed by a conversation with Chrysula Winiger. So please give me or share a warm welcome with me to welcome Lisa. Thank you.